Thermablade is it's a heat escape blade. We just pulse energy through a microprocessor into the blade, melts a layer of ice between the blade and the ice, which is essentially a lubricant and allows you to skate with much less friction.
It's been a 22-year labor of love, and it started by accident on a cold winter's day.
I slid my running shoes on, which were sitting on the heat register right beside the door, and they were warm. I touched the ice out on the step, and my feet slid out from underneath me, and I went down on my can. And over the next number of weeks, as I was nursing myself back to health, I wondered what would happen if I heated a skate blade. Would I get the same effect? This is our very first prototype. We had it actually plugged into 110 power right out of the wall. We moved from there to an encased battery in a unit. We took a copper insert and put it inside the blade to get a better heat distribution. We were heating them, melting them, tearing apart, cutting them in half. That's what inventing is just trying to find a different way to do it.
Weber's tests were eating up skates.
One day I was buying 6 or 7 pairs of skates, and he just said, "What are you doing?"
He'd spent a lot of money in my store buying skates, but he was buying the same model and the same size, which was quite odd. And I said, listen, if you're heating a blade, I've already had that idea.
Francis' business expertise and years of selling skates made him an ideal partner.
What made me believe in Tori and this whole thing is that he is truly just your classic inventor.
Weber had already taken 10 inventions to market, including a stabilizing mechanism for wheelbarrows, a plastic template for cutting out stair strings, and a cover for access panels that fits in seconds. But to take Thermablade to the next level, Weber and Francie needed friends. NHL chairman Harley Hodgkiss was an early investor, and Bob Nicholson, president of Hockey Canada, joined the advisory board.
Thermablade is certainly going to have a major impact on the game of hockey, and it'll be great that it has a Canadian trademark.
Nicholson introduced them to the Great One, and it was all or nothing.
Let's take our last 60 grand and throw it into designing a blade just for Wayne.
I could immediately feel a difference in my skating. I decided that I wanted to invest in the company and endorse the product. The more that you sit down and you learn and understand about the technology of the blade, the more you begin to believe that this is something that's going to revolutionize the game of hockey.
So we did a number of physiological tests. We actually attached a laptop to a pair of skates and pulled the blades down the ice.
The results showed a 70% reduction in starting friction and a 50% reduction in gliding friction.
Your heart rate is reduced, the lactic acid buildup in your leg is reduced because you're not pushing as hard.
You get a 10% physiological advantage over using cold blades. That's really what it boils down to. The number one question that comes out of everyone's mouths is, what does it do to the ice surface? A hot blade on cold ice? The short answer is it does very little because, in fact, it's only 4 degrees Celsius. Your hand is 30 degrees Celsius. If you put your hand on the ice, your hand doesn't melt through the ice.
But skate manufacturers weren't convinced.
Well, I just remember them laughing so hard that they couldn't get up off the ground. Wayne Gretzky or not, they didn't understand the technology.
When they said no, I said, we need to develop the product ourselves.
The easiest thing is to make one decision to never quit.
We live in Alberta. There's money all over the place in Alberta.
Money flooded in when Weber and Francie recruited a crack management team. Alain Comtois and Francois Huitom, both experts in sports testing, and business guru Diron Master to raise cash.
We spent the first $4 million designing prototypes that we could skate on.
It had to be light enough that it compared with other blades. It had to be waterproof. It definitely had to withstand impact.
This summer, 125 players performance tested prototype blades in actual games.
And that was at every level, right from commercial league guys that were Division 7 to Division 1 men's league to major midget and major junior, so WHL players and junior A players.
The first thing you learn in figure skating, which is the basic of skating, is how to use the inside to outside to change direction quickly. And that blades, when it's hot, allows me to do that. It allows me to use the maximum potential of the edge.
We have a lineup of NHL players that want to test the product. We want to wait till the final iteration is ready to go, and then we'll put the players on the skate.
In these promotional videos, the same skater is superimposed over himself doing the same drill, once with hot blades in blue and again with cold blades in white.
The tornado drill shows the ability to increase the radius, which means they can turn sharper, they can accelerate quicker, and they can get out of the corners with much more efficiency. Two players with cold blades raced to the puck, and the player who lost then got to turn his thermablades on. And every single time we shot this, the player with the hot blades won the race.
On top of promotions, Thermablade spent another $4 million getting the final prototype market ready for launch October 16th at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
We're either going to do this or we're going to write a book on how to blow through $8 million in 11 months. So failure is not an option, believe me. It's not an option.
An option to be decided by consumers and the NHL over the next few months.
I wish they were around 10 years ago. I could have maybe lasted a couple more years.